Back in 1970, Charles Grant wrote and had published Battle, Practical Wargaming, one of the first guides to tabletop wargaming exclusively for World War II. This new 2017 edition contains 6 chapters that were never previously published, plus new material by Charlie M. Grant, the original author's grandson and serving member of the Army. The introduction from Charles Grant sets the tone for the whole book. His use of a conversational style from the outset makes this more of a shared experience than a trudge through endless tables and rules minutiae. From the outset, the establishment of a ground scale, movement rates, use of weaponry, and the role played by infantry is explained in a style that more modern rule sets often lack. This is refreshing in many ways, and the introduction provided is just enough detail to inform rather than being dispensed with a heavy hand. The rules for artillery and armour are remarkably short, but provide not only clearly laid out charts for gameplay, but also succinct explanations as to why the values are what they are. This is in stark contrast to some modern sets of World War II rules which sometimes pluck arbitrary values out of the air with no real explanation. The introduction of chance through the classic medium of dice is explained, followed by the relevant charts and tables to govern the strike value of anti-tank weaponry versus the defence value of an armoured vehicle. Ranges are nicely defined into bands, with the strike value of a weapon being lessened the further away the target. The bands seem realistic for the tabletop and again are explained in enough detail to justify them. The use of range sticks and protractors gives the game a different feel to the use of a tape measure. In a sense, you're making more of an effort when you create your own gaming aids rather than buying them. There's a really useful run through of a scenario involving armour, which is the suggested first part of the rules that should be played. Being in essence an extended after action report, there are some simple to understand maps that will work to create a scenario. Having grasped the core concepts of the rules and played a few games using armour, the rules transition to the use of infantry weapons, from mortars and rifles to submachine guns and hand grenades. Having introduced the ranges, strike values and rules, there is then another AAR, which highlights the key rules and makes suggestions about response and counter-response, again with maps to play the scenario out yourself. Again, having established a set of basic combined arms rules, there are layers that may be added, almost entirely optional at this point. These advanced rules add communications, forward observers for artillery, infantry HQs, morale, etc., to make the tabletop gaming experience as real as possible. Plus there are examples of organisation for unit and a useful scenario to play through called Reconnaissance in Force. This expanded edition includes 6 extra chapters that haven't seen the light of day since their publication in the Meccano magazine. These have practical advice regarding the role of terrain within the rules, the creation and usage of maps for games use, and a set of instructions on how to recreate the Reconnaissance in Force on the tabletop, plus a nice fun chapter that deals with garden gaming. The main addition to the rules beyond these missing chapters is a playsheet created by Charlie M. Grant, a good summary of the main rules and including the main charts and templates. This is a full reprint of a set of World War II rules created at a time when authors helped the gamer into the setting and game rather than leaving the reader to sort it out for themselves and then publish FAQs. Everything you need is here, written in an approachable style. The only quibble for the modern market are the lack of colour photographs and the use of black and white images which have seen better days, plus the absence of page numbering in the new sections. Overall, this is still a user-friendly book that is of use to those getting into the hobby or a new era.